So welcome to Virtual Done Well, where we talk about all things virtual assistants and how virtual assistants can help your business. This week, we're going to be doing some Q&A because we get lots of questions on the channel, and I thought we'd devote this week to answering some of those. So that's coming right up. So it's really interesting looking through some of the questions that we've had on the channel, because we probably get as many questions from virtual assistants as we do from small business owners. So let's cover off a whole bunch of them now. Way too many to cover in one video, but we'll do a few of them. So where is this place? And hi, where are you located? Well, Virtual Done Well is based in the Philippines, way down south on the island of Mindanao in a city called Davao City. Why Davao City? Well, I hired a couple of virtual assistants way back when I first discovered the whole concept, and they were based in Davao City, and we kind of built the business around them. And so that's where we are. Davao City is the third largest city in the Philippines, got lots of universities, it's a great pool of talent there, and so it suits us really well. How can I apply for a virtual assistant job, and any websites that I can learn from? Look, there are loads of YouTube channels. I'm often searching on YouTube for different topics for our channel, and there are loads of channels devoted to virtual assistants. So, helping you decide how to start up a business and how to manage a virtual assistant business. So just have a look on YouTube. There's loads of them there. And how to edit videos with words as frames. Okay, so I actually have 3 full-time video editors because I do a lot of videos. I used to do some myself, and look, at a push I can edit a video. But I presume you're talking about all the captions. So there's a couple of ways of doing that. YouTube has some very good functionality where it will put in the captions automatically for you. So it'll generate it from the audio. Sometimes we use that, and you can do that on this channel. Other times we'll actually use YouTube to generate those captions, then go through and edit the captions because they're not always that great. And then in the editing software, we'll actually put the captions onto the video itself rather than captions being overlaid by YouTube. So that's very often the way that we do it. Oh, we're jumping around here with the questions. Any openings for Cebu? Look, we get that a lot. Cebu and Manila. We're based in Davao City, and we have no plans to go anywhere else. We're like we're not a huge business. We're sort of very family focused. The whole business is a little bit like a family. The family's in Davao City, and I really don't see any reason to open elsewhere. But hey, who knows in the future? Can someone from Luzon apply for a home-based job? Look, unfortunately, all of our virtual assistant jobs at Virtual Done Well are office-based. Obviously, I'm shooting this at the time of COVID, so quite a few of our staff are home-based, but it's basically an office-based business. We're at about 50% staffing levels in the office. That's what we're allowed to do. And we just find that works better for us. It provides better support for the virtual assistant. They've got their teammates around them. They've got supervisors. They've got, HR and finance and IT all sitting there right with them. It just provides a much more effective working environment. It's a much nicer working environment, and for our clients, we find it just gives us a much better service. So sadly, we don't hire home-based virtual assistants. And another similar one, I've seen your website, but I didn't see any flexi time schedules. I'm a stay-at-home mum with a toddler and baby. No, unfortunately, we don't hire home-based VAs. Lots and lots of our VAs have kids, but they're able to get people to look after them when they come into work. I'm very interested, please. What's your website? Well, funnily enough, it's Virtual Done Well. Just go to Virtual Done Well, and you'll find lots of information, both for clients and for virtual assistants looking for jobs. So do have a look on there. What languages are available for a virtual assistant? Is it only English? Well, look, it depends where the clients are based, and it depends where the virtual assistant business is based. So our business is based in the southern Philippines because my businesses are English-speaking businesses, and I should add, as you're probably aware if you've watched the channel for a while, the virtual assistant business that I own, Virtual Done Well, is not my main business. It's set up as a social enterprise. It's kind of a not-for-profit. I don't make any money from it. So my main businesses are actually in management consulting, and they're English speaking, and that's why we have a virtual assistant business to support us in the Philippines, because their English is really great. Other places that people go to, a lot of people have virtual assistant support in India, Eastern Europe, all over the place. So if you're looking for a virtual assistant who speaks a particular language, they'll be out there. And if you're a virtual assistant whose first language is not English and you want to look after clients in a different language, there'll be clients out there that need that as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. How do you recommend building content for a website that has the goal to capture prospective clients? Well, that's really the goal of every website, isn't it? It's really to promote your business, but also it's to encourage potential clients to contact your business. Look, I've kind of been into online marketing for 25 years, like right from when it started. And if I could boil it down to something really simple, it's about understanding your market and what their challenges are, and then providing information on that website that helps your potential customers overcome those challenges. So it's positioning you as the expert in fixing those issues, whatever those are. So for example, one of my main businesses is consulting in supply chain. And so we have a huge website full of articles and videos and guides and downloads and thousands of pages. It's been going for a number of years. And I make sure that I provide content around topics that my potential client base is interested in. That brings traffic to the website. It demonstrates our knowledge of those particular topics. And the key thing, of course, is to make sure that you have CTAs, which is a shortened version of call to action. So if you have a really, let's say your website is about accounting, you might have some great accounting tips, but then you'll have a call to action, which will say, hey, if you want some more tips or you want to talk to me about your accounting problems, put your details in here. It's very important to have call to action. So you can have a great website with some great content, but if you're not putting a call to action on there, people are just going to read the stuff and move on. Because you want people to contact you, to opt into your downloads and all that kind of stuff. That's how you build your list. So there we go. How do I start as an entrepreneur of clothes? Well, that's an interesting question. Pretty much what I described. You would need to understand who is your target market going to be. So if you're going to be, are you going to be selling direct to the public? Are you going to be selling to retailers? You need to understand what those potential customers want. You need to understand what others are already supplying to those potential customers, and how your business and how your products are going to be a little bit different. And then I would start test marketing, through social media, through your website and so on. So it doesn't really matter what type of business you're starting. The general principles are the same. Make sure that you really understand your market and what they need, and try to offer them something a little bit different. Could you provide your own business structure and a detailed task of what your VA 1, 2, 3, 4 does? That would be complicated because I have 5 different businesses. So let me answer that in 2 ways. How is virtual done well structured? So as I mentioned, it's an office-based business. So we're like a normal sort of corporate business. We have general manager, we have team leaders and supervisors, we have our HR department, we have our payroll department, IT department. So it's all very well structured, just as you would expect, any normal business. And then the teams all have a team leader that they can turn to for support, as well as their teammates and so on. And one of the things that we do, which is rather different to a lot of BPOs or VA businesses, is that we have quite small teams. So the team leaders don't look after, dozens and dozens of staff. That's one key difference. They might have 10 or 12. And the other thing is the team leaders don't have clients. And you find that in most virtual assistant businesses, the team leaders also have clients to look after as well as all their staff. Ours don't. So what that means is that they have all their time available to help the virtual assistants in their team. So that's the virtual assistant business structure. What about my own business in logistics bureaus? I actually have a large virtual team supporting me. I have 8 as of today. The sort of numbers fluctuate a little bit. Now, I did start off with one virtual assistant about 10 years ago, and then I found it was so good, the support, that I've just hired more and more over the years. So let me think of how the structure works now. I've got an executive assistant who basically supports me in my day-to-day business and looks after my diary and my emails and, you know, that what an executive assistant does. But she also manages our team. Then we have a team 2IC who looks after our marketing systems. She's really great on our CRM and other marketing systems. Like I mentioned, then I have 3 video editors, and one of those is the sort of lead video editor and creative. They do videos and infographics and social media images and all that kind of stuff. I have 2 people working on social media. So that, again, there's a lead and a support. So what they're doing is reaching out to people on LinkedIn. They're managing Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So I have 4 YouTube channels, so that requires quite a bit of management. And then finally, a web developer. We have a number of websites, I think about 20 currently, across those 5 different businesses, and the web developer looks after those. But, you know, that's not a typical structure because I have 5 different businesses. So if I was running one business, I might have, I don't know, 3 or 4 support staff. It depends how much you want to do, how much extra support you want, how many extra things you want to do in your business. So as an example, when I discovered virtual assistants, my marketing focus just boomed because suddenly I had access to resources who could help me do a lot more. And it actually helped me start other businesses too. So not really an easy question to answer. But so that was business structure. Do you hire VAs outside Davao City? No, we don't, unfortunately, because we're office-based. How many hours a week do you work in your business? Oh, no. Will I tell you the truth? Of course. I love working in my businesses, so I work way too many hours. How many hours would I have to work? Look, probably 30. Possibly less. You know, if I really wanted to work sort of the fewest number of hours, I could probably work 30 hours. How many hours do I work? Probably 80. And that's, again, because I have 5 businesses, because I love, you know, all of those businesses, and I just enjoy doing stuff, you know, like making YouTube videos. And I spend a lot of time helping out with the marketing on those businesses as well as looking after clients. So it's kind of my life, so that's why I spend a lot of time in it. But you know, if someone said to me, hey, you know, you can't work that hard, you're going to drop dead, how many hours could I drop back to? Probably 30. But I enjoy what I do. What application do we use for editing? Oh, look, we use a number of different ones. I think the main one the guys are using at the moment is Final Cut Pro. So look, there's all kinds of editing software out there. If I'm doing a quick edit myself, which I don't do much these days, I use a product called Camtasia. That's really a very easy editing software. But, you know, I very rarely edit a video these days. And since I've had professional video editors, you know, why would I? They're just so good at what they do. So generally they're using Final Cut Pro. But if you want to do it yourself, Camtasia is one, and there'll be a whole bunch of others out there. Just have a look online. And then we'll do one more because there's so many here. How many tasks can a VA handle in a day? Well, that's a bit of a tricky question, isn't it? Because it kind of depends what the task is. So for my video editors, for example, a video like this is very easy to edit. It might take them an hour or 2. Some more complex videos, for example, my wife's just started a cooking channel, so look out for Yummy 123. Those videos are quite complicated, and they'll generally have 15, 20 shots, different angles. You know, they can take 5 or 6 hours to edit. So that's editing. Depends on the other tasks. You know, what about website building? You know, our web developers can put up new pages and things in minutes. That's very quick. As far as an executive assistant goes, you know, my EA's tasks are very varied. So she'll be managing emails in the morning, supporting me with stuff during the day, getting proposals done. You know, it's very hard to say how many tasks could a VA do, but, you know, all of our virtual assistants are full-time, so it's an 8-hour day, 40-hour week. that's how much they can get done. And, you know, we manage those hours very carefully. I don't want people working extra hours and working overtime. That's not good. So we do keep an eye and make sure that people can cope with the workload that they've got. So there we go. I think that's probably enough questions. But if this has been useful, do type in loads more questions down below, because I would much rather be asking questions that you've posed that you really want to know the answers to than me just providing videos that I think might be of interest. So thank you for all those questions, and I hope the answers were some help. Now, if you're new to the channel, you might want to consider subscribing, and that's really easy to do. You just hit the subscribe button, that big red button, and if you hit the bell, then you'll be notified every week when we have new videos coming out, and they generally come out on a Tuesday evening Sydney time. So thank you for watching. Do put in your questions down below. Love to see what other questions you've got, and I'll get to those in a couple of weeks. See you next time.